All right, so the last video that I made and I put on YouTube, I was talking about Queen Elizabeth II and also other members of the royal family and how they're connected to the Jesuits, right? Pope Francis, the first supposed Jesuit pope. Lots of connections to the Jesuits within the royal family. I didn't mention a whole bunch of stuff that I had previously mentioned in other videos and blog posts, like King Henry VIII equals 191 in reverse gematria, Society of Jesus equals 191, and the Society of Jesus was formed in the year 1540, and it was when Pope Paul III was the Pope. And he was also the Pope who completely excommunicated King Henry VIII because, he wanted to get a divorce, but the Pope wouldn't let him. The same Pope that completely kicked him out of the church was the same Pope when the Jesuits began, right? And then his name equals 191, just like Society of Jesus. Anyway, yesterday we got an article on CNN. Queen Elizabeth II is getting a 78% raise from the government. And the reason that it's 78%, I'm pretty sure, is because the word Jesuit and reverse gematria equals 78. I mean, I just talked about her connections to the Jesuits, and then we get the story, front and center, 78% raise. Well, Jesuit equals 78. Also, yesterday, when we got this story, was June 27th, the day that leaves 187 days in the year. Society of Jesus in reverse equals 187. Elizabeth II equals 191, just like Society of Jesus. And also, if you put Queen in front of it, Queen Elizabeth II equals 84 in reverse reduced, just like the word Jesuit. The video, if you go watch this article on CNN, so the main thing in the article is about she's getting a 78% raise from the government. And then you go and watch the video and they show you this. The Queen's income in 2015. They don't show her full income in 2016, which is weird. It's 2017. Why are they showing you 2015? But they show you that she had a total $78 million. So they're putting emphasis on the 78. I think, and this is just my guess, the reason they put 2015 in this video is because Queen Elizabeth was 89 years old in 2015, and the whole story is basically about getting, extra money for Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace equals 89. She was 89 years old in 2015. The story also came out then on June 27th to her 66th anniversary of being the Queen, a span of 224 days. The Society of Jesus equals 224. And you know what? Before I get too far in the video, if you don't know what I'm talking about and you're new to this, please go to the video description. I'll leave a link called How to Gematria. It better explains how I'm coming up with these numbers and what I am talking about and why these numbers are being used. Or I guess not necessarily why, just some thoughts of why. But if you think it's crazy, just check that video out, apply it for yourself, apply it in your own life. Come to Media Stories, check out the highlighted words, check out what the main point of the article, and compare it to, do it for yourself. And you won't be disappointed. You're going to see how coded this world truly is, how coded the media is, how coded the sports leagues are. Anyway, I also noticed that Buckingham Palace, depending on the day, because it just has the year in here, 1703, so that's when it was originally built or whatever. It was known as Buckingham House, the building at the core. It was built for the Duke of Buckingham in 1703, which is 314 years ago. And a whole bunch of stuff that I have previously mentioned in regards to pi, 314 years. Just found it interesting. I documented it in there. Also, Buckingham Palace then. So it's originally called Buckingham House, and it was built for this guy, the Duke of Buckingham. Let's click on it here. His real name, John Sheffield. Well, check this out in Gematria. John Sheffield equals 67. Buckingham House equals 67. And I noticed that he also died on 224, right? The Society of Jesus equals 224. So his name equals 67. Buckingham House equals 67. We get the story about Queen Elizabeth 67 days after her 91st birthday. I also pointed out that 67 days is also 2 months and 6 days. Remember, that this number is all about Queen Elizabeth. Queen in Gematria, the small way equals 26, the big way equals 62. She became queen on 2/6 of 1952. In 1952, she even turned 26 years old. She was born in 1926. Her coronation was on June 2nd of 1953. June 2nd, 6/2 or 2/6. So, I mean, just lots of 26 around here. I also, who knows if it's really connected to this, but in my old notes and my old YouTube videos, I talked about Princess Margaret seemed to be really important in regards to Queen Elizabeth coding. This is her sister, her only sibling, and she died in 2002. But Princess Margaret in Gematria equals 78. She also got divorced in 1978. She's the first royal family member to get divorced since King Henry VIII, right? And then Prince Charles, Queen Elizabeth's son, also got divorced like after her, but she was the first one since King Henry VIII to get divorced. Her name equals 78, got divorced in the year 78. She also died age 71 on February 9th of 2002, age 71, and it was 71 days before Queen Elizabeth's birthday. And 2002 was an interesting year because, you know, Queen Elizabeth became the queen because her father died, right, in 1952. So the only people she had left were her sister and her mother here. And her mother also died in 2002. She died 49 days after Princess Margaret, and then they were both buried on 4/9, April 9th. But notice their mother's birthday. Her mother's birthday of 8/4. 8/4, Jesuit equals 84. She dies on 3/30, right? A lot like 33. Her coronation as queen, or Queen Mother or whatever, May 12th, which is the 132nd day of the year. Catholic Church equals 132. Roman Catholic equals 132. Queen Elizabeth became the queen 132 days after the Jesuit anniversary. England equals 132. United States of America equals 132. There's so many interrelated things in regards to the United States of America and also England, you know. We got our independence from England, whatever, when George III was the king. George III equals 84. Revolutionary War equals 84. United States of America equals 84. I mean, and all this Jesuit stuff, I mean, just think about it. The Jesuits have been infiltrated into all of this other stuff that make you think that there's two separate things, when in reality it's controlled by the same people. You know, the Jesuits are also involved in Freemasonry, even though supposedly the Catholic Church, you know, despises Freemasonry. You got Pope Francis, who's a total Freemason. They even have pictures of him on the internet doing Freemasonic poses. He's doing the hidden hand before he was the Pope. It's just so stupid. Anyway, I also pointed out Elizabeth II was born 5 months and 6 days before the Jesuit anniversary, and Society of Jesus, the small way, equals 56. Remember, royal family equals 56. 56, a super important number in regards to important things all throughout history. King James Bible equals 56. ISIS equals 56. Osama bin Laden, Adolf Hitler, Saddam Hussein, President, they all equal 56. There was 56 signers on the Declaration of Independence. John Hancock the first, he died aged 56. The last one to die who signed it, Charles Carroll III, he died 56 years later. I mean, I'm just pointing it out. 56 is this super important number to these people. You know, the Jesuits were even founded in Paris, France. That equals 56. Think about that in regards to ISIS. Think about that in regards to the Bavarian Illuminati. You know, even thinking about it in regards to sports, Chris Paul, who just got traded to the Houston Rockets today, he was born on 5/6. That's why he wears the number 3, because 3 is the only number 1 through 9 that equals 56. That's why Allen Iverson equals 56. That's why he wore number 3. 3 equals 56. Allen Iverson's whole life coded to the number 56. I mean, that doesn't necessarily tie into what I'm talking about here, but just wanted to point out the reason that Chris Paul wears number 3, because it's because of his birthday of 5/6. I also pointed out in the post that if you go from August 4th to the date that Queen Elizabeth became the queen, and you include the end date, it's a span of 187 days, just like Society of Jesus in the reverse method. 8/4 was also Obama's birthday. Obama born on 8/4. Obama in Jewish gematria even equals 84. Pope Francis was born on the date numerology of 84. I mean, think about 1984, the book. Just think about the world that we live in today. 1984 was 33 years ago, right? The highest degree of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. 33, the year Jesus supposedly died, age 33. 1984 was the 44th anniversary of the Jesuits. Jesus equals 444. Anyways, in regards to 78, Queen Elizabeth was also 52 years old in the year 78. Remember, she became queen in 52 at the age of 25, the reflection. But anyway, you know, just wanted to show some more connections in regards to the Jesuits to Queen Elizabeth and the royal family. And I'm pretty sure that's why we got this story about the 78% raise from the government, because, you know, Jesuit equals 78, the reverse. This year has been all about the reverse method in gematria too, so that's why it's even more significant. Reverse has been all over the place this year. Interesting, I just made a video in regards to this too, you know. So, whatever. Have a good one. Peace.